Come on, little buddy. There you go. All right, you're ready to go. Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Buck Talk Radio on the Outdoor Call Radio Network. Let's go ahead and light this candle. Alrighty, I like that little ditty. Andrew just put that on there. We got a fun show for you. Hey guys, it's Outdoors Dan. Welcome to this edition of Buck Talk Radio on the Outdoor Call Radio Network. Hope everyone's having fun. Thanks for joining us on the live stream, and thanks for listening to us on the Outdoor Call Radio app. Always appreciate that. We'll get back to regular scheduled programming as soon as this is over at 5:30, and then we'll be back. We're talking Bigfoot tonight at 7 o'clock. And I know my guest is all excited about the big fella, so we're going to have a lot of fun. Let me just make sure I got everything running right. I do. Got the mics up. I'm good there. Jared Larsen, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Dan. Can't complain out here in Montana, watching some snowfall, which is much needed this winter. What do you got going on over in Iowa?
We've actually had our fair share of snow. We just got rid of a bunch of snowpack, and it's been unseasonably warm in the 50s and stuff. I actually got to go out and do a little shed hunting with Raven the other day, and we didn't find anything. We got skunked, but that's okay. That's life, right?
Hey, that means when you go walking the next time, you're already 2-4 miles, however far you and Raven walked. You're already making progress toward that first shed. So just count that as counted effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Raven was a little bummed, but that's all right. Hey, Tony. Hey, Scotty Mueller in Oklahoma. Good to see you guys already. Thank you for viewing. So, I didn't bring the Polaris. I was getting my Polaris serviced, Jared, so I didn't want to take a chance on my truck getting stuck. So, you know how that goes.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't quite know the luxury of shed hunting from a Polaris, but someday I hope to.
Well, when you get old and decrepit like I am now, you need that, you know? Come on. I'm getting old. I'll be 60 Saturday, man.
Happy early birthday. There's nothing old about 60. It's all in the eye of the beholder. If you can still get out there and hump up some hills, climb a tree, whether you're 60 or 90, I don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah, I can still do that, but it's just carrying all the crud with you, man. That's what wears you out. So, hey, I got to tell you, I was messing around with my OnX when I was out there. I found some fresh, some new rubs and scrapes and stuff. This is one of the reasons why I love going out this time of year, Jared, honestly, is I'm changing out battery cameras in my Tacticams because I run my cameras a lot. That's a good way for me to keep and make sure I know when the bucks are dropping and aren't on the farms that I'm hunting, just to see if they're still carrying or not. But I like keeping an inventory on my turkeys and deer. But this is a great time to get out there and do some postseason deer hunting scouting because you don't have to worry about messing anything up. You can bump a buck or you can bump a bunch of deer, and by October this year, they're going to forgot about that. But you're going to find so many different new fresh signs and trails and stuff that you can take your OnX app out in the field and mark those waypoints. So you got possibly a brand new tree stand location for next season, that's why I love this time of year to do this stuff.
I mean, honestly, if I only had one time of year to scout, I'd probably pick sometime in January or February, especially when if you have some snow on the ground, it makes finding what you're looking for so much easier. And then the other thing that I really like doing this time of year now, I want to mention that if it's 10 degrees and blowing wind, please don't go into your woods and go bumping deer around. They're already struggling to survive this time of year. So take advantage of those 50-degree sunny Saturdays and go wander around. But turning your tracker on within the Hunt app and then simply walking every defined deer trail that you can find. And I like to break it up. A lot of times I'm doing it out on public out here in Montana, and it's a big, vast track, but I've done it on small tracks or what have you back home. But just take a corner of 20 or 40 acres, turn your tracker on, and just walk every deer trail as it leads into the next deer trail. And you really start to be able to build a bird's eye view of how deer are moving across that particular piece of cover over that 20 acres. And you can kind of pick out the hub of the wheel, if you will, where there's multiple trails intersecting, because I know where a lot of the deer trails are just inherently on the Iowa farm or the Wisconsin farm or Montana public, but really laying them out on the Hunt app in February, in January, when you have that very clear sign, boy, it makes hanging a tree stand in October a heck of a lot easier.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't have to go around and look around for new sign or anything. You can go right to that area, cut your shooting lanes, put your stand up, and get out of there, and not educate the deer what you're doing. And to me, that's invaluable scouting time. And like I said, you can go back to a food source, Jared, and you can back trail back to the bedding area and look for sheds. But you can see if there's a secondary trail or if that trail splits off into like a wagon wheel where you get multiple trails. You can do that now, and you're set for the fall. I mean, it's a great time to get out in the woods.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the more content that you add into your Hunt app is just gonna help you in your future. I mean, like turkeys, there is no more valuable historic content in my Hunt app than turkey gobbler icons. I drop one every time I hear a gobble. I know you were talking about taking turkey inventory. The amount of times that I've showed up to a piece of ground where I had an old turkey waypoint and got on a bird in that same exact little 20 acres, 40 acres, whatever it was, like the ability to go back and use historical waypoints, whether that's for turkeys or you found a scrape, like that scrape's probably going to be there again next October. I mean, so often I think folks just think they're going to remember where that scrape was, where that rub line was, where that turkey was roosted, but drop in a waypoint on OnX takes about 3 seconds and positively ensures that you know exactly where that sign was.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were looking for something this fall. Larry Ryan came up late season, and there's a little cluster of trees right below this pond, and it was in a corn. It was corn this year, but we went over there looking for sign, and I mean, Jared, I mean, it was just ate up with rubs, and I never seen that the other 3 years. That's something I missed. So I mark that, and that's right off that pond early season when it's warm. Put a ground blind or build yourself a natural ground blind right there. What a great spot.
Yeah, I forget that you love ground hunting, or you're primarily a ground hunter. It's something that every single fall I look towards and I say, I want to kill a buck off the ground, and then I'm too much of a chump to ever follow through with it. I find myself, I struggle so hard with the lack of visibility that I have from the ground versus in a tree, and
Well, I still hunt.
boy, I have a
I still hunt ladder stands quite a bit, but I just
Oh,
there's
I
certain
know you do,
yeah
but
there's
you're always talking about ground, and I want to kill a mature buck from the ground because, without question, in my mind, it is more difficult.
Well, it's just you can get into your spots. You can get on the perimeters into like a water source and stuff where you don't have to penetrate the rut stands, or you can get in and get out without really educating the deer. And I tell you what, a natural ground blind, you build that, you don't have the encompassing of a hub blind. You actually can see 300 degrees around you and stuff if you're in a natural ground blind. You get into some cedars or that thicket, the little tree thicket I told you about. I mean, it's a great way to hunt. I mean, it's I'm a big guy, so it's hard for me to conceal. But Larry and Ryan and Paul on Respect the Game and Philip Vanderpool, all those guys. Hey, Kent up there in Wisconsin, good to see you, buddy. All those guys are really good at hunting off the ground. I mean, they've taken some just whoppers over the years on TV. So I'm a little late to the game on that, Jared, but I do enjoy being out there in the open sometimes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this show's going to go quick, so I want to kind of go through some stuff because let's talk a little bit about, you guys are constantly coming out with new deals on OnX. You guys got new content, you got new tools. What's the new research tool that's out there now? I don't think I knew about that one.
You are. I'm always impressed at your savviness on what we're doing, Dan. So I appreciate that. Hunt Research Tools is a oh shoot, we've been working on it for a couple of years now. But it essentially is a tool that is going to help break down getting tags out west in a much more simplified manner. So you don't have to go cruising through Colorado's government site to figure out, okay, like how many deer points do I need to hunt second rifle in this unit, or just understanding the lay of the scope of, okay, what is a bonus point versus what is a preference point as a non-resident in Montana. And so Hunt Research Tools, it really stemmed from our acquisition of Top Rut a couple of years ago, which Top Rut was just a leader in the data of draw odds. And so we obviously acquired that data and some brain power there as well. And we have put that into a much more streamlined, manipulatable format within Hunt Research Tools that allows you to really understand and plan for your next Western hunt, whether you have never bought a point in any state nor applied, or if you have a dozen points across 7 different states. We're going to help you keep track of those points and just simplify the research to understand, what is a good bang for my buck, given the amount of time and money that you've spent saving points, ensuring that you're not burning 9 points on a 4-point unit, and really ensuring that our elite members have all of the information at their fingertips to go on, their dream hunts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's getting more difficult every year just from being a content provider, trying to go out and make a living filming hunts. I mean, it's getting harder and harder. Kansas just changed their non-resident turkeys this year. You have to draw for them, which historically, we've went forever and just over the counter and bought the tags. And now there's a little pocket there in Colorado that I like to elk hunt. I think they're getting away from over the counter. So it's going to get dramatically harder and harder. So something like that, Jared, really helps a user not only get the benefits of all the mapping tools and sharing everything with their buddies they hunt with, but you're going to get a resource tool that's going to help you plan your fall hunts.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, like, it's not going to get easier to draw tags. I would guess in my lifetime that there may not be over-the-counter opportunities in any capacity. I mean, like talking turkeys, talking waterfowl. I mean, that would not surprise me at all, which I think is very unfortunate. But, I guess that's the nature of, what we're doing at OnX, what you guys are doing, creating content is, the whole idea is to empower and inspire people to get out and go enjoy time in the woods, go hear an elk bugle, go chase a turkey in a new state, see a new landscape. But obviously that message has caught on, and people are getting out more and exploring further and hunting different species. So, that's just the nature of life and the growth trajectory of us as hunters. So yeah, it's a tool at your disposal to help you get ahead of it as best you can with all that there is in point creep to get out there and come on a hunt and hear a screaming bull or look for a crusty old mule deer.
Yeah, we don't get Jared on enough during the year, folks, so I'm not going to take a commercial break this show. So I'll just say the show's brought to you in part by our good friends out at Woodhaven Custom Calls, Fletch, Gamehide, get your limited going, Pure Whitetail, Diamond D Outdoors, great chest holster systems made in Alaska, Sportsman's Warehouse, our folks at Pure Whitetail, Winsent, Final Rest, and Fourth Arrow Camera Arms. They help me do all the shows each and every week, so thank you for that. So, hey, let's talk about labs. I had a couple people asking me. Well, first of all, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, so please don't take it that. You know me well enough now that I would never do that to you. But you are planning on sending me some of those little gift coupons they hand out at the Deer Classic for free 1-year memberships, right?
Oh yeah. I will absolutely. I'll make a note right now. And app cards.
Yeah, because I got people already asking me, Jared. So and then if you don't throw some stickers in there for me too, please.
You got it. I'll even see what I can do about a little batch of hats or something.
Oh, that'd be nice of you. I didn't want to push my luck, Jared, but
Hey,
those are that,
you always ask for the stars and see what you get.
yeah, man. Listen, that's a great partnership. I don't want to wear you out, but they've been asking me for a couple months now. So, one of the things. Let's talk about labs because I get a lot of questions about the labs. And I want you to explain when someone comes on as an on-end user with OnX, tell them about labs and what that does for their capabilities.
Yeah, so the OnX Labs is essentially, I'll refer to it as like a beta platform
Yeah.
that we allow all of our elite members to access, kind of in tandem while we're perfecting and building newer features. And so OnX Labs, as it stands today, has a number of tools in it that allows you really to just pick apart the terrain. Whether you're in
Hey,
Kentucky in the
listen, now I want you to listen to this, folks, because I don't think I explain this feature enough when I talk about Onyx. But when you finish, talk about on and leaves off filters.
Yep. So I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there. So
Yeah,
OnX Labs in and of itself takes you to like a new browser. I mean, it'll be very obvious that you enter somewhat of a beta of the OnX platform. It's not going to be the same OnX that you're used to on your desktop. And it's worth mentioning that this is only available when you go to onxmaps.com. It's not available in the app. But it's useful for if you are trying to hone in on a particular elevation band, on a particular directionally facing ridge, or if you're looking for a glassing knob. So the main two features with OnX Labs is filtering out uninteresting terrain. So saying I am interested in the elevation between 4,000 and 6,000 feet. I only want to see west to north facing slopes, and I only want that slope angle to be at a maximum 35 degrees because it's steeper than that. The elk aren't going to be bedding there. And so
right.
when you filter that out, you are left with a highlighted portion of your map. If you're looking at, let's say, mountains in Colorado, everything that fits those parameters is going to be highlighted, and everything that is not within those parameters will just kind of be darkened. So just a really easy way to filter down exactly what you're looking for. So we call that Terrain X within OnX Labs. And then the other feature in there is Viewshed.
Yeah,
So there's a lot more coming with Viewshed. It's kind of in its infancy still. We have a lot of ideas and a lot of engineers cooking on it in the background. But essentially right now you place your cursor on any point on the map, and it's going to tell you what is visible from that location. So if you're hunting the Nebraska sandhills for mule deer and you're looking for glassing knobs that are easily accessible from the road, you can go into OnX Labs, click on Viewshed, and find those in a matter of seconds. If you are, in Western Colorado looking for a glassing knob for an elk hunt, super, super fast way to find your most productive glassing knobs where you can see the most country or, the deepest into a craggy drainage or whatever it may be. So that's OnX Labs. And then what we are doing, you mentioned leaf off imagery, which
yeah.
is like a whole nother rat hole on what we're trying to do with imagery.
I know, but this thing's like going down the rabbit hole, Jared. This thing's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've basically, we hear two main pieces of customer feedback as far as things they would like to see improved within OnX Hunt. And it pretty much always comes back to, can you update our parcel data faster? Which I'll first mention that the last 2 years, we've updated every single county in the United States with digitized data over the course of a calendar year. So every state is getting at least one update a year, and we prioritize by number of users in a state on which states might see that second update in a calendar year if we get that much GIS work done. The other one that we see is, when am I going to get updated aerial imagery? People may have cut a food plot or done some timber stand improvement, and it's not showing up on their aerial imagery in OnX. And so they're like, man, we really want to see some updated imagery. Well, as you can imagine, updated aerial imagery is insanely costly and B, pretty much impossible to be self-sufficient as far as sourcing it. Like we're not Google. We're not going to have a bunch of satellites in the sky taking photos for the OnX Hunt app exclusively. So with that, we've been getting really creative in finding more nuanced data at individual state levels from individual counties. Like we have truly been piecemealing together some of our imagery options, and leaf off is exactly that. I think we're up to 15 states that have leaf off imagery now. But I mean, we are going to individual counties within states and sourcing just counties worth of data, sometimes townships worth of data. And so really trying to offer as many solutions as we can to solve that problem of outdated aerial imagery, because the moment that photo is taken, that aerial image is already outdated because the next day you went in and you cut in a food plot, or you put in a new road, or whatever you did. It's always going to be an uphill battle on having that updated imagery. So by providing leaf off imagery in states where it's available and applicable, recent imagery is something that we just added as well, which is a lower resolution image, but every single 2 weeks across the entire country, you get a fresh aerial image. So if you're looking, where the snow line is, what water levels are doing, that clear cut that you hired the foresters to come in, all that stuff is going to be updated in near real time, just to give you the best idea possible on, what the area that you are hunting looks like as close to today as we can. So we're going to continue to make those efforts. And like, we're looking at some new interesting things such as LiDAR and how we're going to be able to potentially implement that into the app. And so we have no intention of stopping our ambitious efforts of trying to give folks as many imagery and topographic options as possible to better understand landscapes.
Absolutely. Jacob says, "Hey, happy Wednesday, Dan. You guys are already getting me excited for deer season next year. Ha ha." Jamie, good evening. Thank you very much. Firemeister. I hope I'm saying that right, Jamie. Thank you for watching. Naked Buckhead, thank you. Happy Wednesday to you. Cheyenne, and good to see you, Cheyenne. Kent says, absolutely love OnX technology. If you can hook us up, that would be interested. Hank, how you doing? Down at Revelton Distillery. Cheyenne says, used OnX to help track my buck and was able to mark its last spot with a pin, came back next morning and was able to find him within minutes from the pin drop. Very useful tool. It is, Cheyenne.
Yep. Get me Cheyenne's email. We're going to upgrade her to elite. We're getting her going. I love that she found that deer. That's awesome.
Yeah. Cheyenne, email me, outdoorsdan@mac.com. Would you do that? And I'll get you hooked up with Jared. That's nice of you. I appreciate you doing that.
Well, I mean, anytime somebody's going to chime in, not only listen in, but also chime in with a little anecdotal story, I'm always here for story time. You know that.
Success stories are awesome. I tell you what, turkey season, just from what you were talking about with the topography, looking for roost trees and food sources for turkey season, OnX is perfect for that, Jared.
Yeah, I really find that like turkeys are one of the more e-scoutable species. If you find a good roost location, which it's hard to explain what a good roost location is on a map if you don't know, but once you've familiarized yourself and you've done a few turkey seasons and you understand, how turkeys use topography and ridges to their advantage when they're pitching up or pitching down off of roost trees. If you can combine like some of those nuanced terrain features with nearby food and water, you're pretty well on your way to finding turkeys. And that's the beauty of turkey hunting, as my mind is. You don't need to be on the X. You don't need to be in the right tree or, right on the ground next to the right tree. You hear a gobble and you are in the game.
Yeah. In my humble opinion, Jared, if you want to get 80, 100 yards off them roost trees when you're hunting, you want to get back a little.
Totally agree. Like you definitely don't want to blow them on the roost tree, because then you really shot yourself in the foot and you're going to be scratching your head all morning.
If you're as clumsy as I am, you want to get as far back as you can. Jamie says, not too bad. I mispronounced it a little bit. Jamie, thank you for being understanding. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. Hoyt Hunter, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for watching. We appreciate that. Well, Cheyenne says, well, thank you for that. Certainly much appreciated. And the biggest and most mature buck ever, Harvest Mountain public land. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Bud Cheyenne. I appreciate that. Hey, Jared, got 6 minutes left here. How was the rollout and success of incorporating cameras with OnX? How did that go?
You know, it surpassed all of our goals that we set. You know, we ended up getting multi-millions of images into the Hunt app, which, you know, I know you guys are well partnered with Tacticam, which I ran 8 different brands of cell cameras this fall, simply to test as many brands as possible to try to prioritize which brands that we wanted to go after next and implement into the Hunt app. And I mean, Tacticam really does do an excellent job with their cameras and app. I mean, of the 8 brands I ran, that would hands down be my choice of camera to run. And so we have a lot of ground to cover as far as getting more partnerships established and getting more brands of cell cameras integrated. But we were super pumped. Just the number of customers that did integrate a camera, because I'll be the first to admit it was not easy. I mean, that's
a lot to get in there, Jared.
It was just too many clicks in order to integrate a camera, and we knew that. And so that's kind of priority one is fixing the setup process of getting a camera integrated. And then really what we want to do next is start to build those insights, because that's why we built this, right? Like, it'd be awesome to be able to simplify for the guy that's running 3 different brands of cell cameras, so he only has to use one app to get all of his information. That's great. But the power really comes when we are able to help you analyze your trail camera photos, to help you pull out those patterns on what, you know, your target buck Steve is doing when the wind is out of the west and you have barometric pressure at 29.7 and rising, to pull out the data from photos that you have historically of that buck to help you predict, all right, I only got 2 days to hunt over the next 10 because I got kids sports and I got, you know, a family this and a this or that. There's so many people that have such limited time, and that is what we want to do with trail cameras, is help provide insights based on the data that you are already getting that would simply take hours of manual time. And so that's really a lot of the work this off season is onboarding new trail camera brand partners to make it more inclusive to more people in the trail camera world, and then B, really get to those insights and provide those for folks, you know, because that's what people want out of trail cameras. And I know like Tacticam is trying to do it with their statistics portion of their app. You know, it's like everybody's kind of working towards this same thing, but we're all doing it asynchronously, which obviously, you know, Tacticam wants to sell more cameras than Bushnell, who wants to sell more cameras than Covert. But at the end of the day, this is something that no one company has solved and built well. So if we can come in and try to mesh trail cameras at large to be more user friendly, like that's what we're trying to do.
Well, I talked to Ben, and if you get together with Ben and Jeff Peel and them guys, I think you guys will be able to. If anybody can streamline that thing out, Jared, it's you. I mean, you're the tech man. So so when you and I talked about that last fall, that kept me up a couple nights, because I kept thinking of all the different possibilities of, you know, if you got the technology to see on your phone, if your camera's reporting to your mapping site that deer is daylighting, I mean, you're going to be able to just hone in and really try to get yourself on that deer. I just think that's one of the most aggressive and awesome technology that I can't wait to see to be streamlined and filtered a little more. I think you guys are going to knock it out of the park, man.
Man, I get so frustrated around here because I want things to happen in the snap of a finger. It's like, come on, isn't it just it's just 2 lines of code?
Yeah, you got to
wait.
You got to wait for the technology to sync with you, man.
I know it. So yeah, I'm eager to see what we can do here and bring to fruition and help people get the most out of the sits that they're able to go have. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like whitetail hunting is so predicated on intel, whether that's intel you picked up boots on the ground scouting in February, or the trail camera photo that you got 4 hours ago. Every decision that a whitetail hunter makes is based off of prior knowledge, or at least in theory, that is how you want to make the decisions as a whitetail hunter. So if we can help if we can help facilitate people making better decisions more often, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I mean, wind direction, moon phase, and temperatures, and I mean, we're all looking at data. I mean, it's just another way to streamline your choices. Hoyt says, "I can't wait for turkey season. I want to get one with my longbow. Send me a picture, man. I want to see it when you do it. That's awesome." I knew this show was going to go way too quick, and there's things I didn't even get to ask you about. So, I can't. When can we get you on again when you're done chasing turkeys?
Hey, we can get on this spring. I'll be out in the woods chasing turkeys, but there ain't nothing stopping me from having a half-hour conversation here talking about them.
Well, I just think we need to get into the topography and the layers more, especially in the lab section, because I just think, you got so many guys applying for going out west right now. They don't know what shelf topography to look for. And man, if you're going to do it, if you're on a do-it-yourself hunt, and you can go into that beta section, and you can look up that specific shelf or topography that them elk they're going to be holding, or you can get into glassing situations. If you're doing a what do you call that, a DIY or whatever, do it yourself hunt, whatever, that's really going to help you up your odds of success, Jared. Honestly, I mean, just from being on 10 elk hunts my life, I know exactly how valuable that is.
We can 100% do some getting ready for your Western hunt basics, talking through what you're looking for, how to make it stand out using OnX. I'd definitely be game for that.
Okay. Well, and I'll give out some. I'll give out as soon as I get those OnX cards. I'll save a few for the shows, and I will. I'll give those out to the listeners here and there. It just keep rewarding people for tuning in and being a good partner with OnX Hunt. And I want to thank you for helping me with my deer seasons and my turkey, because you guys are always a big part of that, Jared. So thank you.
Well, likewise, Dan. Appreciate the partnership. Appreciate you having me on. Always an enjoyable chat. And one of these days, we're going to get to eat a burger and go walk around with Raven looking for sheds, or do a turkey hunt, or one of these days when I'm swinging through Iowa.
Heck with that, man. I'm going to come out there and hunt in Montana with you somehow.
Come on with it. Tell Dave to get on the program, and you guys can come out together. I'll whoop both of you oldies.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Just have Life Flight on standby for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'll carry the heavy packs, and you guys just carry the weapons.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. Hey, Jared, if someone wants more information about OnX Hunt, how can they do that, sir?
Yeah, so all socials is just at OnX Hunt, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. But your best resource is going to be downloading the OnX Hunt app from your app store. If you don't already have it, you get a 7-day free trial to check out all of the tools and features that we have to offer. Otherwise, www.onxmaps.com is your place for more information.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. You be safe out there, okay?
Appreciate it. Likewise, Dan.
Thanks, Jason. Jared, thank you, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. There he goes, Jared Larsen, everybody. Good, fine fella right there. I'm going to say goodbye to the Facebook crowd. That's going to end our stream there. Go check out OnX Hunt. I didn't get the Woodhaven custom call. You make the call segment. Hey, Jared's still here. Jared, I'm going to give you a question here. Okay, you make the call this week, all right? You're going out shed hunting. You find, you're in a bedding area. You find 2 or 3 sides. Do you mark that spot, or do you just keep rolling through looking for the other side? What you make the call on that? What are you going to do in that situation? Did I lose him? I might have lost him. Yeah, I might have lost him. That's all right. he was having some issues with his Wi-Fi. Good, fine fella right there. Hey, Scott, Jared Larsen's a great guy. OnX is doing some amazing things. All right, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. I'll be back at 7. We got Amy Boo from Ohio. She is a Ohio Bigfoot researcher. She just went to a big deer hunting show and talked to hunters about Bigfoot. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I can't wait to hear what happened there and see what other kind of things have happened in Ohio with her chasing the big fellow. So we'll be back at 7. Till then, you guys Be good. Keep it here on the Outdoor Call Radio app, and we'll be live streaming again at 7. Until then, God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Somebody just clicked in. Let me say goodnight. That would be one to check out. Thank you, Hoyt. Good night, everybody. We appreciate you. Talk to you soon. All right, there goes everybody.